Hello, all of you cute beans out there, and welcome to the stream. I am DrainSim, currently as Pink the African Wild Dog, and this is DrainSim, where we're gonna have some story right at the start. So, one moment.
Well, this is new. The sun is out. The parking garage has been cleared. The cars are no longer underwater. They also no longer start. But visually, we're making progress. The rain has paused, but the canal at the outskirts of town has been at full
I was gonna
capacity
say
for
the plus side
days.
of moving.
Story.
The side of
If
that
you're
canal
doing,
wall is cracking and starting to bow outward. It's
Furry.
extremely close to collapsing, and directly behind it sits the old church. On the bright side, at least we'll have good lighting if it happens.
Okay. I said we're gonna have story right at the beginning, Gibcap.
I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
You were about to say...
Look, I was distracted. Okay, I saw hopefully from Korra, and I was wondering if that was an opal joke, and then I thought too much about it, and I got confused, so I decided to ignore it. And then I realized it just meant hopefully. I was going to say the plus side of moving a lot is that if you do it often enough, then it just becomes really easy because you just streamline it.
Oh joy, the next one is apparently a timed mission.
I thought the game had no timed missions.
It looked to me like they have some, optional timed things, like time challenges, but... Yeah, this one, canal about to collapse 10 minutes to prevent flooding. So, yay!
At least it's a reasonable reason why it has a time limit on it.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
It's
he
about to
is, Guru.
collapse. If it's about to collapse, you must send the only sweeper. The one and only. What was it you were calling the drainer superhero the other day? I know I was overhearing it.
Plunger guy.
Yeah. When are you gonna make Plunger Guy a tabletop character?
Okay, we need to use our shovel and barriers to protect the church. The game is lagging as all hell. Okay, there we go.
I come back and I see an extra cute Master Zim. So fluffy.
This is Paint, my African Wild Dog character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see them on the end screen and they're so cute.
I am not cute.
Sorry. What word should I use instead?
Not cute.
Immovable.
Immovable is acceptable.
Radiant.
No, literally immovable. It's Paint.
Yeah, he literally cannot be moved unless he chooses to let you move him. He decides when when the snuggles end.
Right. Snuggles will never end. Well, he is fluffy.
No, Ido is fluffy.
Why is it so hard?
That's why you must never put Paint in an airplane, because then he can proceed to make demands, or else he stops moving.
I like
Even
this
I'm an
idea.
immovable rod.
I mean, it must literally be the most terrifying thing to put Paint in a vehicle that's traveling anywhere fast enough to be dangerous, because then you stop moving and before you blink, you punch a hole through the thing. And sure, Paint's gonna fall or Paint's gonna get left behind, but also everyone else is dead.
Though, unfortunately, he does have to be in contact with the ground before... otherwise, he can still be moved.
I was going to ask that because Paint could fly in that case. Good to know.
What happens if, like, you're in a subway? Does that count as the ground?
I don't know, and I don't want to get into the what ifs here, Give Gap.
I mean, because if the ground is the ground, then if you're underground, you could be attached to the ceiling and be immovable.
Spider paint. Spider paint.
Spider paint
Hi,
does whatever
Gamebox.
a
Thanks
spider
for the
paint
follow.
does. Or does it work on like Pirates of the Caribbean rules, where paints can just carry around a jar of dirt and be immovable whenever they want?
Sure.
You made paint immovable for the snuggles. I am trying to think of how to make paint crawl on the walls. We are not the same.
I'm thinking of paint as a resource, as a tool.
Wow. Poor puppy, don't say that.
Or is there just a button you can press? No, I'm just thinking of movable rods again.
Of course you're thinking about immovable rods.
Well, yes, I mean, it's what paint does, but in rod form.
Some H.
Dude.
Okay, before we continue that, we need to set these up.
Set what up?
The barriers.
So this game is
186.
reminding me so much of Gary's Mod flood maps and Gary's Mod raft maps.
No clue what that is, to be honest.
Don't know
You
either.
had to build a boat. So, you two are familiar with Gary's Mod at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least for me.
So they were specifically maps that were designed to flood after a certain period of time, and you had a short time limit to build a building, a boat, a raft, etc., using physics props with the various material properties that the source engine has. Fuse them together using the Gary's Mod tools, and then do your best to survive the ongoing flood. And oftentimes you had weapons to shoot other players with, so you not only had to protect against the water, but you had to protect against other players as well. So you'd have to split your attention between building to survive and building to murder. They were fun.
Sounds fun. I dig it. Even if you run my perfectly timed joke where someone's gonna be like, I'm gonna place the barrier, and I was gonna go 180-second cooldown as a reference to League of Legends.
Wow, League of Legends posting. That's so based. I mean, that's
The
so
Euro.
cringe.
The Year of Our Lord 2026 League of Legends posting.
Yeah. I'm going to start with cloth 5-pot. That should tell you how old.
I'm gonna start with what?
Oh, cloth 5-pot. Cloth armor, 5 health potions.
Why would you do that?
The OG top laner start.
Oh.
Or fortitude potion Riven.
Oh.
Sorry, elixir. Okay. I shall not recite the old magic.
I don't think Gib Gab is familiar with these old magics.
I see.
The first champion I ever played was Savior, and that was already like later on enough that I'm pretty sure that was old magic. The oldest league I've ever seen is like the old faker memes.
Ah, okay. I played at the tail end of beta all the way till season 7/8.
I have no
remember the
idea when I played,
original
but
health bars.
I enjoyed playing League. As long as
It's a very fun game. Arena.
I specifically avoided, or I was very particular with who I would play with. But I enjoyed playing regardless.
And mostly.
Oh yeah, the people make the game.
And mostly ARM, right?
No, I did actually prefer Summoner's Rift as a whole. ARAM I played a lot of, but that was mostly because those that I was playing with wanted to do ARAM.
Ah.
Oh, Ido, thank you. My husband, Silver Edge, made it. Bark, bark, bark.
Yeah, it's such a cute icon. It's for such a good Dwacky.
Rawr. Yeah, my favorite was the original Twisted Tree line. I had 2 friends I'd play that with all the time. It was so fun until the turtle meta happened. And then played a lot of everything else. And then I've recently been playing the arena mode that's been made permanent. The arena mode is really fucking fun. They took some of Dota's community-made game modes and just made a polished, insane version of it.
The random bonus one?
Yeah, the arena mode, the 2v2v2v2v2v2v2v2 with all the augments and stuff.
I have no idea what that is. That sounds sick.
Yeah, basically it's you are a team of 2, and it is split into several rounds across several maps where you rotate and fight different teams in 2v2 battles. Like there's a map that's all about breaking pillars with knockback abilities. Like each map favors different playstyles and characters, and at certain points of the round, which takes about 20 to 30 minutes depending, or longer if people have insane builds, they will rotate. You'll get augments, which are basically extra types of items. Things like adapt. All bonus ability power is turned into AD. So you can build magic items on melee characters, and because the magic damage is being turned into physical damage, you can convert things in really interesting ways. They have critical-based magic items, and yeah.
I know the augments I know, like from the ARM augment game mode.
Yes, they base those off of the arena game mode.
Oh. Fair enough.
And also, thank you, Opossum.
What do you mean I'm basic, Corey? You speak?
Well, are you acidic?
Oh my god!
Are you gonna be okay, Master?
Master got a bit wet.
I don't know if that was supposed to happen.
Let's just say I was not at all expecting it to break like that.
That was violent.
That was incredibly violent, and all at once it was like,
That was a hell of a timber-born ass explosion.
yeah. Like, I did not expect the water to just suddenly surge up.
So I placed
Yeah, I was
barriers
taller
down.
than you were.
Mission is absolutely not a success, no.
How do you even, like, okay, real talk though, what do you even do? Because I assume the barriers would have stopped most of the flooding had it gone down, but it all just, like, zooped up, right?
Yeah, it went up and over the barriers and myself.
What do you do with that?
I don't know.
I guess you have to place the barriers further back?
mean, it did spread out pretty quickly, so further back barriers might have helped.
Yeah.
It's just if the water was supposed to be that tall, it feels like it almost went taller than the wall of the dam there.
It definitely did. I think I'm going to restart this one.
Understandable.
I love fluid simulation, though.
Oh,
It's
never
so cool.
mind. I mean, I can deal with this. It's not like it's game over with it having flooded the church. It's just annoying.
Does it lower your score or something if you end up cleaning it by the end anyway?
No. So I'm just going
I
to
guess
carry
at least
on.
there's that. Yeah, at least there's that.
Okay, well, let's start by stopping this flood over here.
I can't believe they really gamified the innate childhood urge to make a dam out of the sand on the beach.
Everybody loves making dams and holes. I was a hole digger.
Oh,
When I was a
love
kid,
doing that,
we had a little park like in our neighborhood, and me and one of my friends just one day committed to the bit and made a hole as deep as we were tall. So like we were preteens, so like 4.5, 5 feet tall, and it was so much dirt. And then all the elderly neighbors were pissed at us, and we had to fill it back up by the end of the day.
Evil kids, how could you dig a hole?
I know, right? And we had really silty, like clay soil, so it was really heavy, moist dirt too.
See, you should have just kept the hole and used it to make like some sort of cooking thing.
Yeah, it's not pure clay, so it couldn't be fired, I don't believe, but
Darn.
yeah, no. Our whole desires were thwarted.
Your wholesome desires? Okay.
Yeah, my wholesome desires.
I'm so sorry, Zim.
I have no idea, Ido, and I'm just ignoring you two at this point.
Wow.
Hi, Azure. And for me, I'm just trying to find good clothing for Hyro. That's what I've been doing the entire time.
I mean, my question is more like, what kind of vibe do you want Hyro to give?
That is the ultimate question for designing a character.
Yeah, now once it gets that dense, Kroy, it is so heavy. Oh, and the rocks. The rocks are terrible. So many sharp little evil rocks to cut into you.
Alright, we stopped the flow over here. What's wrong, Ren?
Absolutely nothing.
Did you just see what
nothing.
Raijin drew?
Yes.
Cute. Bottom.
What a powerful piece of artwork that must have been.
Yep,
I
and
don't
it's
think it has to be
not
too-
coming up on stream.
I don't think it had to be too powerful. It's not
You know,
like Ren's
actually,
power
that's
level is
fair.
that high.
That's true. Ren makes the cutest of noises near instantly, I have seen.
Hyro may have been a min-max character, but Cashel killed him. SMH my head.
It's just a doodle, Kuroy. He's only really doing doodles at the moment. Alright, we're stopping the water from flowing over into the church. Now we just gotta deal with the church itself.
And must like IRL that would suck so hard with the fact that a lot of churches are both old and tend to be made of material that you don't want water getting into and causing damage.
Water?
Oh, in real life, this church is totaled.
Like a lot of churches end up having, you know, the kind of like old ones end up having like a lot of stone or wood or stained glass, things that you don't really want water messing with.
Hey, at least all the gold will be untouched. I mean, look at those doors.
Elijah White? A washer in the unit that needed quarters.
Bruh.
What in the actual fuck shit?
I'm sorry, pardon my
Uh-oh.
language, but
Oh, yeah.
damn.
We've
Sure. Oh.
run into that kind of nonsense, like...
I'll gladly pay the quarter if I can get them back after putting it in.
Nope.
That's when you get a dummy quarter on a string. Like, wild behavior.
Absolutely, Ido. I always welcome you drawing my characters.
$3.
Yes, $3 per wash.
$3 per. And you have to provide your own soap. And you're paying for utility.
Does the washer fold my clothes for me? Is this like-
And cook dinner?
Is this God's washer?
No, from what I understand, it's just a ancient little thing, like 40 years old.
Some landowners really don't deserve to be landowners. Dare I say,
Yeah.
many of them.
I feel like the person who designed that deserves to pay 6 quarters per minute to breathe. Just so they understand how life is.
Kuroi, it just is a giant mess of local, state, and nationwide regulations. So in a lot of places, what you wouldn't expect to be illegal is, and then in a lot of places that you wouldn't expect, they have way better protections than you'd imagine.
Yep. And it also depends super heavily on how long you've been a tenant.
It's a complicated thing.
Yeah. Hey, Lucas, you're being a slacker. Don't you have plans to cut, Lucas? Good. You take care of Gib Gab and Gab Gib.
Who? What?
Lucas is my
Remote.
animal handling pawn.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and we have the one ostrich named Gib Gab, and the other one is named Gab Gib.
That's a Spinosaurus. Scary. Oh yeah, they're so big.
Yeah, no, laundromat costs are no joke. Before Silver and I moved into our new place, we had to go to the laundromat for my clothes, and it was just like Yep, every week's an extra $10. That adds up so fast.
It does.
Curry, you could put a washer in, but number one, you need to buy the washer and then move it in, and then yeah, you're gonna move out. Let me pull the washer out.
Well, the problem with that is that we don't know if we would have been allowed to pull out the coin-operated one. I'm fairly certain they would have said no.
If they're petty enough to put a quarter-operated washer in the building, they're petty enough to be like, in this contract, you cannot move or replace any types of furniture that have this yada 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 yada. I'm evil. Also, any infractions are a broken finger.
Not actually a broken finger. It's just what it'd cost you in hospital bills.
Yeah.
Gosh.
The tenant.
I just like the gall to have a quarter operated machine already like infuriates me.
I'm flabbergasted by it. I'd say I'm speechless, but most of the speech I want to be saying is incredibly vulgar.
I bet they're the kind of person who charges their
Oh.
kids for food.
Hello, Tal.
Hi,
Oh,
Tal.
Hi, Tao.
all right.
By the way,
Are
I
you
posted
doing
this
well?
on streaming room voice chat.
What was that?
Couldn't you guys? I posted something in the streaming room voice chat. I'm wondering what do you guys think about this clothing?
Oh, that's cute.
In regards
Friend,
to
you're,
what?
you,
I just joined the combo.
and you can't be showing those kinds of things, SMH.
SMH your head.
Okay, is this with or without the sweatpants suit underneath?
Probably without.
Absolutely, yes. Silken clothing is so cute.
You guys saw like, I really like this design.
See you, Croy.
Bye-bye, Croy.
Hi, Croy.
Okay, Raijin. That's true, but like, providing beds for your tenants is a loss. Just make them pay for it. Because, of course,
Honestly,
like-
providing doors for your tenants is a loss, too. They should put a quarter in every time they enter their house and take a quarter in every time they want to leave. I remember reading a book about that. Huh.
like yes, I know what you're trying to say, but also the part of the return of investment of a washer dryer is just the fact that someone's actually gonna take your place, like you, who's discounting them because they don't have one. That is literally part of the selling point of it.
See, if
For
they
m-
didn't give us a single washer and dryer, like sure, I'll just buy one myself.
Yeah, I honestly, the biggest problem that I have with it is the fact that that would then require that my landlord come into my unit like once a month or something to clean out the coins.
Even think about that part.
Yep.
That is what I would be like, no.
Honestly, I just mostly feel the fact that it's like a little old thing to be like the more annoying part. I mean, you're
Also,
right.
just
It's
so
probably
you-
really annoying, but like,
I was gonna say, just so you know, Blue Bat, you do not have to post an entire magic suggestion manifesto all at once.
Blue Bat, we generally don't want that, actually.
Because we like to respond to each of the suggestions individually.
Yeah, please separate it out if you've done that.
Also, Regin, getting into an argument with Gabby sounds like both a wonderful and terrible time. Go for it.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is you can boil down the costs of it But I just think it looks, at least it looks more tolerable, even if the money bears out the same, to just bake the cost, the expected cost of operating it into the monthly rent instead of like deposit quarters to operate this. Just charge more rent. How much did your stupid washer dryer cost? You're already paying for the freaking utility. Yes, just charge more rent as opposed to making it a quarter operating machine. That's the actual quote you want to put in there. Because if you're gonna go for that argument, that's what they're gonna do logically.
Hello, all pal.
Hi, out pal.
Hi, Alt Pal.
In a lot of places, yeah. Rajan.
Mm-hmm. The funniest part is I've actually met a lot of Europeans who aggressively defend it because they will argue vehemently that those public restrooms where you pay like €1 to use them are that much better than the free public restrooms, to the point where they never consider ever going into a free public restroom.
Sounds like coke. And I've been
It
in them.
is.
They are not that nice.
Yeah, it is a little bit of coke. Not gonna lie.
Like, they are a little bit nicer. They are not that nice.
The only exemption that I will guarantee them is if you have those highway stops. From everything I've seen, including a couple of pictures from someone who's taken a road trip, yeah, if you're gonna go for those like highway gas station kind of things, yeah, don't use the free ones. 100% better to pay
rest
for the
stops.
€1. Yeah. Those you don't.
In the US, it's also interesting knowing which truck stops are good and bad. I had to travel a lot when I was working for a family business at one point. And if it was ever a big tourist destination truck stop, hell be upon ye. Truck stop only, hell be upon ye. But combination truck stop and tourist stop, best bathrooms. So when you had that overlap, they were the golden area, and they had the best restaurants. Some of them had amazing mall-style cafeterias if you hit the right ones across the U.S.
Yep. Also, Blue Bat, what we were saying is we prefer if it's not a massive manifesto, and instead that they are individually posted, because we prefer to respond to all of the suggestions individually, and then delete the message afterwards. So if you post like 30 of them all at once in a single message, it makes it a lot harder for us to discuss it. So just post them one by one. We'd rather you put like 30 different separate messages all in a row.
Yes, very much so. Please go in and do that. Where did he do that? Like, was he talking about doing that?
Yeah. So earlier he said that he was going to try and finish as much of the magic suggestions as he could to feel comfortable about posting it. And I'm like, hey, maybe don't write a magic manifesto.
Magic Manifesto. Abbreviated to MAMI.
When I first heard Magic Manifesto, I was like, oh god, Magic the Gathering Manifesto. But I'm just traumatized by my friends.
Oh, you just mean like Magic the Gathering rules in general?
Yeah, rules, debates. I'm just like, oh, I see why you want those individual, but no, it makes more sense. That is about RPG development.
Yep. If you are going to mass post something, obviously a Google Doc would be the best for it, but it's still, it would still make it a lot harder for us to individually re-put the suggestion and discuss suggestions.
Yeah, we would prefer...
So that's probably best for you for personal organization and double checking, but yeah, just copy and paste them one by one.
Yeah, that's the preferable way for you to do that.
I'm assuming that you can just hit reply and reply to that one specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we do is we forward it to the Discuss Suggestions channel, put our discussion notes about it and whether we decided to take it or not, and tag the person in it.
Yep. And if it doesn't get accepted or we want additional clarification, we'll put it there. And so it also increases the likelihood of effectively just getting it properly feedback for why we wouldn't take it in its current iteration, or that we need this or that extra thing, instead of it basically just being like we have to post like a response manifesto. Hi, Era.
And we also only have so much time. Hi, Era.
Oh, that knee. That knee was brutal.
And yeah, we only have so much time, but also I'm trying to phrase it in the way of, and here's why it's helpful to you to actually go along with this.
Fair.
Because, you know, if they're going to bother making the suggestion, it's probably something that they actually want to see implemented in some way. So it's like, hey, if you care about this, which you obviously do, here's the best way for us to give it the cleanest shot possible at getting in, even if you have to rework it slightly. I know it's fun. This is true.
Ido is a very good Fluffy.
Ido's the fluffiest fluff that ever fluffed.
I mean, he's got the collar, so you know.
If you're referring to me, then yes, I am a good Durg of Master Zims. Bark, bark, bark. Gotta catch 'em all.
Well, Era is... You know, Oki here is the... you know, partner, the husband of Silver, and so, you know, it just makes sense to take the bonded pair.
Definitely clean. Good.
We finally recreated Tandem Mouse.
So, Bluebat, if you want to suggest entire schools of magic, that would be its own suggestion.
Yeah, you make a suggestion for the School of Magic, then you make a suggestion for the, each spell, or each word that would be under it.
Yeah, and in the suggestions, in the little thing that I made up for it, it does let you potentially write in its own little school thing, because you go name dash and then in parentheses whatever school it's supposed to belong to. So, if it's a word that is intended to be a part of one of the suggested schools, you can put it with that, and then if that particular school doesn't get directly added, then instead you could put maybe like a secondary one if you think it has another one that it would fit particularly well inside of. You can group them up and post them however you'd like, effectively. But, you know, it's just more of a... Just try and make sure that as many of them are individual suggestions as possible. Because it gets a lot harder trying to line item everything constantly.
Yeah, this power cable... Oh, I guess it will reach.
Did I?
Think fast, Sir Tal, because Ervaska is smooching you.
Oh, that's sleepy. Pet.
Yeah, Kyle, question.
Yeah.
It's about jits.
Yeah.
How much is like the general tolerable limit for your pet to be broken? Just out of
So long
curiosity.
as they're recoverable afterwards, you know.
Oh, okay. So you have to make sure to not like...
temporary breaking is fine.
Okay.
Jits is very cute, though, so you know, I understand the drive.
Very true. First time I heard the trembling on one of these calls. Oh. It's like a predator seeing prey in the bushes.
Yeah. He is adorable.
It also took some of his
And-
friends outing him to me, because apparently he was considering it for a very long time, but found me intimidating.
Aww.
So then some of his friends were teasing him about it, and then proceeded to secretly out him to me about it. So then I started teasing him too.
That's adorable.
Incredible.
Oh, you're fine. Pet. Also, I don't have any specific pet insurance era, but you know, again, so long as they aren't permanently broken, you know.
Master,
Yes.
did I do good? The whole just
What?
in Telegram.
Raijin just bombed the entire chat.
I was reading.
Yes.
I have a hard time saying words of what I want to say, so you know what? I'm gonna screenshot it through what I'm trying to say. Which probably helps you a lot easier too.
Regin, the one thing that I think of that hinges on that full argument is whether or not it is a person who is renting out one of their very few properties, or if it's part of a property management complex. If it's from a management firm, then absolute irredeemable. A single person, I can see that point of view.
Yeah, I generally will admit I operate under the assumption that most of the time the person renting out isn't renting out a single property, because almost every single story I've heard of a shitty landlord tends to be, you know, I have 20 homes and my tenants cost me $5,000 in damage in one of them, so I sued them until they went bankrupt. Haha, don't mess with me. And you're like, oh wow, I hate you. But like, there's a big difference between that and pretty much what you say, you know? If that's your only other thing and you're just like, yeah, I have this old washer dryer that I bought from this corner store that was closing down and operates off quarters, so I just do that instead, that's probably fine. I still fundamentally hate the fact that it's quarter operated, but like, I
mean, he can do whatever he wants, but for me, when I saw that, it was just a big no.
Yeah.
He can. I just also think it's going to be saying like, I think there's also a really big difference between, as a landlord, like, even just saying, hey, this is quarter operated, but like, you know, I'm just gonna do it like once a year or whatever. They'll just accumulate there forever. Or like, here, have the keys, open it, give me some money and done or whatever. Like, you can still finagle the thing. You don't have to like do it all the time. But
we don't know how often he was going to come to collect the money out of it. But it was still just a... ugh.
Good night, Blue Bat.
Good night, Blue Bat.
Night, Blue Bat.
Good night, Blue Bat. Or is it Commander Havoc who's going to bed? Or is it both?
Oh, good night, Havoc. Yeah, it's Havoc. Who said good night to Blue Bat?
It's the purple. I think somebody saw
My
purple
bad.
and we all jumped in on it.
I saw Blue Bat, yeah. Good night, Commander.
Good night, Commander. And also, Blue Bat, big agree. Getting transformed into a cute little obedient kobold by friends and being convinced that they are better off as a kobold is one of the best ways to be. Being told your place and enjoying being put in that place. Wonderful.
Also, I was about to put out stuff for the feedback form thing like I was planning to tonight, and then suddenly realized, hey, wait, I can't actually put anything in the Scar announcements thing. So I guess maybe I'll just make something in the ScarDev thing.
I can copy-paste. I didn't realize you don't have access, but I mean, it's once in a blue moon anyway, so...
Yeah, it's once in a blue moon that I actually need to put something in there, so it would be like...
I could just copy-paste.
Yeah. Alright, guess I'll write it in there instead. Also, yes, Service, you may.
Enjoy looking
Bye, Era.
It's okay, Blue Bat. You can get out of the sleeping jar.
Dear Lord. Okay, anyway. I was gonna say, Radian, yes, but also most people purchase the home for their own, like, most people purchase them to occupy it themselves. I think it's still over, like, 60 or 70%. So, like, that's just of the total. You're right that, like, big corporate landowners aren't the vast majority of them, but I don't think that counts apartments. It only counts single-family homes in most of the data that I see. And also, you know, there's an increasing number of like investors that have a big pocket of wealth that then invest into those homes. So it's not even like the desperate person. It's usually people who already have a bunch of money that then put it into like 2 or 3 homes to diversify their income source.
And also, you have to look at the location of the homes, too. Because property management firms may have a higher density of homes in desirable areas versus those who have just a handful of homes. What a ludicrous sentence that is. Those who just have a handful of homes are maybe more spread out in suburban or less than urban areas. that are less desirable and barely even renting it out.
I mean, no, that is true, because like you see differences in how many homes and rental homes are owned, but literally by city, by state. Like they can vary significantly. Like I think if I remember correctly, Cali is the state with like the most, corpo homeowner things, or corpo homeowner firms. But then also like wherever the home prices are insane, usually that's where they control a bunch of them, because then there's like 3 of them and they collaborate with each other to raise those prices artificially, which just raises the prices of everything.
Either way, the thing to remember is these landlords are always making a profit. If they weren't, they wouldn't be in this business. If they weren't making a profit off of renting out that house, they'd sell the house.
It really depends on whether they bought recently or if they've bought before those home prices skyrocketed. Because anyone who owns like a property they bought cheap and they're being a sleazy landlord, they don't deserve to own land. They should have it revoked from them. Because there's literally no reason why you bought a home 30 years ago for like 1/10 of the cost and you have your rent at every single other competitive price, even though you've already made your money back enough to buy 2 other homes. Like you already made your return on investment. But for the, like, if you bought a home 2 years ago and you're still paying a really high mortgage, yeah, you might genuinely not be making rent. Like it hurt even to the new homeowner, the market really hurts. It's effectively anyone who bought a home when they were cheap that is really making those profits, and to like large firms that just through sheer scale get to whittle away at the cost. Exactly. Crichton says. I still think all of this is solved if you just start to build a lot more housing. I had the weird thought recently that, you know what? I now don't understand the concept of like Eastern European homes being made fun of. Because I had a friend like from Russia who gave me them, like I wasn't poking fun of them because I was like, yeah, you know what? The home might be expensive, but at least it's not like an Eastern European concrete block. And they were like, yeah, you know what the problem is? Everyone here lives in one of those apartments at minimum. Like, there were apparently a lot of places that previously used to basically not have homelessness because it was like, oh, we have a bunch of homeless people. Yeah, build like 10 of them. They'll house like 2,000 people. Oh, just living in the concrete apartment.
They're efficient.
Yeah, like living in that apartment might not be pleasant. Better than being homeless. And now a lot of like modern housing projects still have to compete with the fact that you can just refurbish and give some maintenance to those old places and they still house a ton of people really cheaply. Yeah, it's not great, but it lowers the rent prices a lot wherever they are in the area.
Okay, I swear that this is not actually working.
You've been stuck on these puddles for a long time, Master.
Yeah.
Is the like sewer system plugged? Is that a possibility?
No. Like, they do get a little clogged on the top, but then a quick break and they're good to go, but...
Yeah, because I've been seeing you just go in circles and circles and like, why is nothing happening? Weird.
Yeah, something is weird with all this. The street is apparently good, the parking's good, the inside of the church is definitely not okay.
The water level is fluctuating up and down quite a bit. Maybe something's going on there.
I think it's this, trying to feed this, little puddle into that. That's what I think is not working.
That's why you just need a big floofy sponge to go suck up everything.
Giggity.
How was that a giggity?
It was to me. I was gonna say, Raiden, literally that's actually been happening a little here, which has been just a hint of Schadenfreude, because like there are a lot of people who were looking for obnoxious home prices, and a lot of people bought like, you know, the house was like $500,000, and then they built some really expensive houses nearby, and then everyone raised the prices, and then a bunch of people bought them expecting the price to go up, and now a bunch of people are stuck with homes they bought that were way overpriced, and they can't sell them, but they don't want to lower the price because they don't want to take the hit. So literally, there's a bunch of people stuck with extremely valuable homes that nobody wants to buy, and they don't want to sell at a loss. And it's just like there's an impasse where everything should be lower, but nobody wants to move that price needle. And it's getting even funnier because there's like a few new projects being worked on. Like they're building some higher density housing around. And it's like, oh, you want to buy this place? Yeah. It's like 3 stories with a cool little like roof terrace. And also it's got like 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, garage, everything. Yeah, like $200,000-$300,000. It's like one of those little townhouses, so they're like pretty close to the other one. And it's like, yeah, I could buy $1 million home, or I could buy this townhouse. What does the $1 million home include? 2 bedrooms, 1 house, 1 garage. It's small. Yeah. And for a lot of people who own homes that bought recently, it's not looking very good. I've said it before, but I don't disagree either. Like, I genuinely think, more than anything, it's not just that housing doesn't have to be built, like, where people move. I think we need to build up reasons for people to want to, like, move into new places. Like, I genuinely think, because it happens here. Like, here in Florida, you just have, like, hey, look, there's 3 places people want to move to because it's the only place where anything actually happens and where anything exists. But then, like, when they start building out stuff in other cities, people start moving there. Largely it happens as like a satellite or orbit of a big city, but yeah, I think they just need to build more stuff everywhere. That would be nice.
It would be. Enjoy cuddling the Eevee. Raijin?
Oh dear.
Oh, you didn't giggity that one?
No, I just said oh dear. I guess we'll see Ido tomorrow.
Cuddling could take multiple days.
I don't know what it is that the neighbors are doing, but I am so tired of just random thudding on the walls. They have been doing this so frequently lately. On the other side of that wall is not a bedroom, Gib Gab.
Hey, you preempted me on that one, not Gab. Gib Gab.
Whoever
I
started
just laughed,
snorting.
that's all I did. That was me, but I wasn't gonna say anything.
I don't know, maybe they have like a rug that's been aggressively dirty that they're beating the sand out of.
Indoors.
It's been happening for about a month now.
Sheesh. That's
Does it happen at like regular
hobbyist
hours?
woodworker.
Does it happen at regular hours all the time, or?
I haven't paid attention to when it happens.
My actual genuine like assumption would be like probably exercise actually.
That's a reasonable thought.
Also, you know what, Raijin? I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think there's lifestyle creep in many places. I think genuinely a lot of things could be built up. Like I've commented on it before, but it surprises me a lot to learn how many amenities people have lost in the US And a lot of it has been traded off for the convenience of like simple like city living. Like, you know, you don't have to go to like 15 shops because you have the supermarket. But the only reason going to like 15 different shops to get like nice produce at each of them, the only reason that's difficult is because big car city, right? If like your butcher shop and your bakery and your fish market were all close by, you could easily go get, you know, your lunch or dinner for 2 days and be chill with that. Like, that's genuinely an amenity. But also, like, the US used to have a lot more public facilities. Everything from, like, public pools to gyms that you could just go to and not have to pay, you know, a membership for. That was apparently a thing. A very widespread one that all kept getting closed down.
No, I remember as a kid there being way more parks to go to. Now, of course, I'm not currently living in the US, but before I moved down to Mexico, it's so... The death of the third place was very clear, and outside of, like, say, college towns. Like, parks, gone. Cheap places for kids to go, gone. Libraries, turned to sad.
Mm-hmm. Like, I do think there is a bit of convenience that's worth losing to gain more opportunities that I think people would initially be hesitant to say, like, no, I don't want to lose being able to just drive everywhere. And then, you know, you hit them with the fact that they may not need a car in the first place. You know, they don't have to pay for one. They can just take the bus, and the bike, and walk, and tram, and they're going to be like, oh, you know what, actually, maybe.
Well, there is also a big problem with that when it comes to, like, other areas where that is very much so not feasible at all.
Yes. It needs to be, like, very area dependent. It's why I say, like, I genuinely wholeheartedly support building everywhere. It just would need to be a very localized thing. Like, I wouldn't expect, you know, this small town in Minnesota to, like, be incredibly urbanized and have a subway. But also, I don't expect them to have giant highways in the middle of the city. Because that's kind of dumb. They don't need them. Neither does the city.
I would also love Amtrak not to be 3 to 7 hours behind every time I take it.
I want to be able to.
Also, it's kind of interesting hearing other people talk about this shit when, in the direct area where I live, the amount of, like, when it comes to the shit that is around, it is all the exact same stuff as it was when I was growing up. Exact same public libraries, exact same parks, exact same everything. But then again, we also still don't have sidewalks, so, you know. There has been exactly zero trade-off because there is nothing new and nothing has gone away.
Oh, I'm pissed. They closed down a couple of the parks that I really liked recently, and I was like, bruh.
I will say, when I was younger, they did put up a new monument in one of the parks, and that was a really big deal because I was there for it being put up. It was like the Bicentennial Tower at the closest park to me. But yeah, there's been absolutely no fucking change where I live. The library that I worked at for like 8 years when I was a teenager got the interior redesigned slightly. They changed where some of the bookshelves were. That was a notable thing. They put in like 3 study rooms.
Yeah, there are some places that just wind up being basically stuck in time.
Yeah. On the list of things where people talked about it for like a year or more was the slight library interior redesign, a 5-way intersection. One of the ways got closed off, so now it's a normal intersection and is no longer a 5-way stop. That was a big one.
It sounds cursed. The American allergy to the roundabout never ceases to amaze me.
I actually like roundabouts.
Yeah, I know, they just don't build them.
I would say that a
Roundabouts
lot
are
of
so
Americans
cool.
are actually okay with roundabouts. It's just
Not
that,
the
yeah,
American-
none of them, none of the companies build them.
Yeah, not even the average American doesn't care about the roundabout. Like they just drive, but like they just don't build them for some reason. Like there's so many places that could just use a roundabout instead of a giant cursed intersection. Is like, haha, no, building squares is better. We must never build circles.
Raijin, I feel that so much. I miss my colorful Taco Bells with the funny stools.
Also, I don't know what you mean by lifestyle creep otherwise, because the only other thing that comes to mind is like basically creeping more and more things to do in your day-to-day to keep yourself busy without actually meaningfully keeping yourself busy. But a lot of that is just like having nothing else to do.
I mean, I guess I can see like lifestyle creep as being like access to imports and global goods, and everybody expects to have access to things that do take a lot of time, energy, and manpower to travel across the globe as part of lifestyle creep, where previously you could only get that in cities, and now people in suburbs want it, and then people in rural areas want it. Like, having Amazon delivered to a small town is kind of an amazing feat, but the cost has to go somewhere. Is the view I can think of with that statement?
Yes. Okay. To that specifically, I'd even say yes and no, because like, yes, I very much agree that there's a lot that people expect, and I think is kind of unreasonable moving forward into the future. And it's more than understandable to want to tone down on a lot of the amenities that we take for granted. Like, yeah, I don't think $200 washers are necessarily a good thing, not because they're cheap, but because they're cheaply made and they're going to be thrown away, and we just kind of buy and dispose and buy and dispose and buy and dispose. I don't think that's good.
Have a good heading out there, Shadowhunter.
Good night, Shadowhunter.
Yeah. One thing that I think is a very important difference is that a lot of the things that used to be considered luxuries now we can get really cheaply.
Mhm.
However, there is also a lot of things that used to be considered very par for the course and now would be considered a luxury.
Mhm.
So it's more like if you just go by things that used to be considered luxuries, like let's say high quality TVs. That used to be a very luxurious thing to have, where most households wouldn't have even would maybe have one in the living room if they were doing pretty well. Now they're like, you could get a pretty good TV for like $300, and you could have one in every room in your house if you really felt like it. That is definitely something that used to be considered a big luxury and now is so readily available for people. But there's also other things that we just sort of like don't have cheaply or are completely unaffordable to even like an average or well-to-do household.
Like a house.
House itself
That,
is one
but
of them.
a house would be one of them.
Yeah.
But I'm
The one thing
I'm
that's-
also just saying, like, because I think it is an important distinction.
I mean, I agree, and I think there's also a big distinction between like there are some things that have been like artificially subsidized, that have been like mass commercialized, and that aren't really sustainable long term. They're kind of like the lost leader kind of things, right? Like there's plenty of things that I just think normalizing as having may not necessarily be healthy. But also, there's plenty of stuff that just became cheaper because, I mean, just at a baseline level, international trade. Like, yeah, if you're gonna globalize the economy, a lot of things are gonna become more readily available and easier and cheaper to me. Even like electronics, even if it wasn't just because like they're being outsourced and imported from places where wage slave labor and whatnot. Just the fact that the components and the materials are so much easily and readily accessible, and there's so much competition in the mining sector for them, that already alone will lower costs significantly.
Okay. Almost done with
But can
this.
I-
What's up?
the one thing. Yeah, just the
I
one
was
thing.
going to
I
make a
will-
joke.
Oh, good.
But can I please have just one little stick of RAM, please? Just one tasty little protogen stick of RAM,
I
please?
didn't know you
Just
adopted
one?
a protogen.
No
I
RAM for
also
you.
have a protogen form.
Show me. I want to see.
Yes, I will show you my prut.
Key.
Jits, we're talking about economics because, you know, we got into the discussion about it with, you know, trying to figure out where we're moving to. Which we're still trying to figure out.
Yep.
Also, story real quick.
Miracles Department reporting in. The old church is still standing. Most of the canal surge was diverted, and the remaining water was cleared the old-fashioned way. Plunger guy did it again. The man basically performed a hydraulic exorcism. Now to the next problem. The industrial district between the big city and the suburbs is flooded. Pipes everywhere are leaking, spraying water non-stop like they all scheduled maintenance at the same time. If he wants a clear path toward the city, he'll have to shut those leaks down and drain the area. Industry, it turns out, does not fix itself.
Okay, so next I'm going to the industrial district, apparently. But I'll save that for the next recording of this. So thank you everybody for joining us so far on the stream today. That was DrainSim. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to help out the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, grabbing packs of cards through stream loots, tipping to the channel directly, or grabbing some merch over at zgfgaming.store. But for now, thank you so much for joining everybody, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye.
Bye.